As part of Washington State's efforts to restore Puget Sound, the Washington State Department of Ecology conducts studies to identify sources of toxic chemicals entering the Sound. The Washington State Department of Ecology studied toxic chemicals in roof runoff. The Puget Sound Toxics Loading Assessment, completed in 2011, identified polluted stormwater runoff as the major source of many toxic chemicals entering Puget Sound. Scientists hypothesize that several metals, particularly cadmium, copper, and zinc, as well as the phthalate plasticizer DEHP, might be washing off the roofs of Puget Sound area buildings. That study recommended a field investigation.
We were primarily concerned with the metals arsenic, cadmium, copper, and zinc. Cadmium is actually toxic to everything. Every life form on the planet. Arsenic can be a carcinogen, a cancer-causing agent at very low concentrations to human beings. The copper and zinc, we need those as micronutrients as humans, and we take them in our vitamins often. For fish, especially coho salmon, copper and zinc can cause harm at very low concentrations. The study was a new approach for ecology. What we did was to bring in a roofing task force early in the process. In fact, the roofing task force was a group of people that are roofing manufacturers and their associations. We brought them together to help us define what the study was going to be, and then to help us design the study and make comments on the report. It worked very well.
The Roofing Task Force recommended the roofing types assessed and provided comments on the study design and draft report.
The members of the Roofing Task Force donated all of the roofing materials, and they actually installed the roofing materials as they would be on a real roof.
Ecology conducted this study to determine what pollutants might be coming from various roofing materials commonly used in the Puget Sound region.
We were testing for 5 metals. Those included arsenic, cadmium, copper, lead, and zinc. We were also testing for some organic chemicals. Those included polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs, phthalates, which are plasticizers, and a chemical called polybrominated diphenyl ether, or PBDEs. Those are used as flame retardants.
The team constructed 16 roof panels to test the different types of roofs commonly in use in the Puget Sound area. Domestic-type steep slope roofs tested were asphalt shingle with algae-resistant copper-containing granules, straight copper, manufacturer-painted galvanized steel, concrete tile, plain wood shingle, and wood shakes treated with chromated copper arsenate. Low-slope commercial-type roofs tested were made from TPO, or thermoplastic polyolefin, PVC, or polyvinyl chloride, EPDM, or ethylene propylene diene terpolymer, a zinc and aluminum alloy, a built-up roof with an oxidized asphalt granulated cap sheet, a modified built-up roof with a styrene-butadiene-styrene granulated cap sheet, and a modified built-up roof with an atactic polypropylene granulated cap sheet. There were also 2 glass roofs for a scientific control. During each rain event, rainwater that washed across each panel was channeled by Teflon-coated gutters into stainless steel containers.
When a storm had finished, we mixed the container of runoff with something called a USGS churn splitter. That would make sure that the water was homogeneous when we went to sample it. And while we were mixing, we were also pumping out the samples into our sampling bottles.
This study identified significantly higher concentrations of arsenic, copper, cadmium, and zinc from roof runoff from several roof panels when compared to the roof control panels. Most notably, arsenic was released from the treated wood shake and PVC panels. Copper came from the treated wood shake and copper panels, and zinc was released by the zinc aluminum alloy and EPDM roofs.
The good news is that for most of the roofing materials we looked at, they are not releasing a lot of elevated metals, phthalates, PAHs, or flame retardants. Specifically, the asphalt-based roofing materials, which are those that are most prevalent in Puget Sound, which includes the asphalt shingles and the built-up roofs, did not release high concentrations of metals. When we made estimates of the toxics that were going into Puget Sound back in 2011, basically, we used what was in the literature, and what was in the literature was much higher than the concentrations that we found. We think for several reasons. One of those is that they looked at full-scale roofing products. Roofs are not just 8 feet long. Many of the commercial roofs are a lot longer than that. Also, we did not include any of the gutters or downspouts, so the concentrations, particularly of zinc, but also of arsenic and cadmium, were much higher in the toxics loading study than those that we found in our study.
The final report, Roofing Materials Assessment, Investigation of Toxic Chemicals in Roof Runoff, is available from the website of the Department of Ecology.